Hey y'all, and welcome to the video. This is going to be the end of life review video for the Toyo Open Country CT tires that I've been running for quite a while now. They are about to be swapped out probably within the next week or two, and here's what they look like. Definitely got my money's worth out of them. These have a staggering amount of miles on, 96,900 miles. So likely over 97,000 by the time they come off. And this one here is at the wear markers. These treads were not together like this when the tire was new, but the wear marker is what caused those tread blocks to merge together like that. This is my worst tire up here as far as wear goes. It's basically bald in a lot of areas. It's pretty chopped up. Definitely the worst one there. And then this side, a little bit better. And probably my best example right here that actually looks like it still has a little bit of life left in it, like it could go another 5,000. These tires are pretty interesting because they are commercial tires, which likely gives them really hard rubber compound, which explains high tread life. But at the same time, they're also snow tires. They do have the snowflake on there, and they had holes for studs. They had a lot of siping. They were designed pretty well for snow, but usually for snow tires, you would have soft rubber for better traction. So it's an interesting blend here to give you high tread life, but also snow traction at the same time. And I did drive them in the snow a couple of times, and they were good, but they didn't blow me away. Like my Toyo MTs actually exceeded my expectations for what they would have done in the snow. These I thought would be significantly better. They're probably a bit better, but only marginally better than the MTs were. And that's despite having more siping and such than the MTs had. But very good still, and I would still recommend them to someone who wants a snow traction tire. What other performance can I talk about? Mud terrain, obviously not as good as the MTs in the mud, but they held their own. I really didn't have a problem getting stuck in the mud with these. What I really liked on these tires was the sand traction, which I thought that the tires didn't dig down as much as my MTs did, and allowed me to stay on the sand and not sink down as much, especially with a heavy truck like this. So I did like how they did in the sand, and I drive on the sand a lot down by the beach. So I was happy with them on that front. In the rain, they did good. No complaints there. Regular driving, so on the road, they're pretty well behaved. Noise-wise, they were impressively quiet when first installed. About 30,000 miles or so in, they started getting a little bit noisier. They're louder than all-terrains the whole time, though. But now they're really loud. They're like mud terrain loudness right now, and it's because of how they've worn and how choppy they've gotten. So I'm not sure that I can blame that on the design of the tire. It's just they had plenty of time, almost 100K miles, to start getting chopped up and get noisy like that. So I'm not really blaming the tire. I'm not really blaming the truck either, just because of the amount of miles that it took to get them to this point. One thing I really like about these tires and all of the Toyo tires is the sidewall strength. They're E-rated, but I think among E-rated tires, they have more rigid sidewalls. They are a bit heavier, that's the downside, and the ride comfort's gonna suffer a little bit for this, but this is the kind of tire that these trucks need. And some people, I've even seen it myself, where I had death wobble on this truck, switched to a Toyo tire like this. It was the MT at the time. It actually single-handedly cured my death wobble. Now I went on to rebuild my front suspension anyways, but the tires was the first thing I changed, and it actually eliminated the issue. So having good tires with good strength on them on a 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck is good, and these are about as good as it gets. I've also had several times where I've run over a screw or a nail or something that could have caused a leak in these tires, but after spraying with the soapy water, they never leaked. It probably 2 or 3 times we had a potential chance to have a leak in the tire after pulling out a screw or something, or bolt, and they never leaked. So very durable in that regard. So who would I recommend these tires to, or would I recommend these tires? The answer is yes. I think I can't ignore the tread life that I've gotten. That's got to be one selling point. Number two, they're half decent off-road. They handle well. They're really good quality. They're very durable. The only thing I can really say against them is they offer very few tire sizes. I had to choose between a 33 and a 35, and I feel like a 33 was a little small, at least for looks, on this truck. Whereas a 35, I would have been rubbing again, like my old set of 35s I had, and I didn't want to do that again. So I wish they had something in between a 33 and a 35. I would recommend this tire to anybody who wants a long tread life plus off-road traction. If you're a commercial driver, like a hotshot driver, and you're putting on 10,000 miles a month, I'm sure you don't want to be changing tires every 3, 4, 5 months. You would rather have a tire that lasts you dang near a year. Now, maybe not get as many miles as I did because my truck doesn't have a trailer hooked up 24/7. So, but still, I'd expect these tires to hold up against that kind of service. So for some ratings in the tires, tread life, 10 out of 10. Really off the charts with that. Off-road traction, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. 7 or an 8. They're pretty dang good, but they're not super impressive like a mud terrain would give you. And then comfort-wise, as far as noise and how they handle on the road, they do handle well. I'll give them a 7 out of 10. They're going to be a lot noisier than a highway or all-terrain tire, and they're going to ride a little bit rougher than a lot of tires, but they're very good. They're not squishy at all, which that part of it's what brings up the rating to about a 7. And then how about value and quality? They're really high quality tire, really well made. I think the value is there. They're expensive, very expensive compared to a lot of tires. They might even cost double a lot of the budget brand tires almost. But the cost per mile is there because you get so many miles out of them. I would give them an 8 out of 10 just because of the cost per mile. So big upfront cost, but they pay dividends. So that is my review of these tires. They've been good. Would I buy another set? Yes, I would. Will I buy another set? I don't think so. I think I'm going to go a different direction on this truck. I'm planning to use this truck more as a weekend, go fishing, camping, more of an off-road kind of setup. So I'm probably going to go with a more aggressive tire and a bit larger tire. I wish they had a different tire size, or I would really seriously consider getting these again. So that's going to be my review. Y'all have a good one. See you next time.